Well, hello. I think I might as well share some interesting announcements to you all about this year. So, what I'd like to say first is that what I got with me, I got a couple of these. These are H1N recorders with wind protectors. And I got 4 of these. This is one of the 4. So what I'd like to say is when I do ambience videos, instead of just making a video of the sirens being heard in the background, I'm just going to use the recorders for the ambiances because I think the recorders pick up the sound better than the actual video, and because you know, usually when I do my ambience videos, you don't really see anything anyways, except maybe just overgrown weeds or trees or wherever I place my camera at hidden, which is not a problem, you know, but it's just I think my recorders would do better since it's proven to pick up sound a little bit better, at least in my point of view. I feel it does. Because one thing I could say for certain, when my last ambience video that I filmed in Battle Creek, for example, I had my recorder and camera together right next to that lake that separates Westlake Elementary and Riverside Elementary's 612s. As it turned out on that day, the downtown Thunderbolt failed the test, but anyways, what I found really interesting is that the recorder was able to pick up the sound of the Post Foods SD10 better than the camera did, and not to mention because there was a little bit of wind distraction from the camera, the recorder that I had my wind protector thing on didn't pick up any wind distractions, but yet at the same time it was able to capture the wind down of the SD10 being heard in the background. So as a result of that, I feel like the recorders are probably going to be better for ambiances from now on. So what I'm going to say for ambiances, when I do more, I'm just going to do recorders instead of, you know, actual videos. But what I will do, I'll still put the map of where I place the recorder at, but also at the same time, as part is featured on the video, instead of just looking at a black screen or just a blank screen or whatever you want to call it, I'm going to take a picture of where the recorder is actually placed at, including what's in the background, you know, and where it's being aimed at, with the recorder showing in the photo as well, just so it'll stay there, and then you can all see, like, where it's at and what it's actually picking up at that specific spot after, of course, I show the maps of where, you know, it's actually placed at when you browse Google Maps, for example, so that way you kind of know where I decided to place it, and then, of course, I try to measure the distance according to the maps of how far each siren being heard is in the background and such like that. So that way it's easier for you all to understand. So that's what I'll be doing from now on. I'll just do recorders instead of video, but for up-close videos, I'm still going to be using the cameras instead of the recorders because many of you like to actually see the siren that's being heard sounding off, like, you know, whether it rotates or even if it's a non-rotational siren, you know, many of you will want to actually see the siren. So that's the thing. So I'll still be doing that, obviously, but I'm just going to do things a little differently as far as, like, ambiances. But I'll still be doing that, of course, but just be with recorders instead of video. But, of course, you know, that's the one thing I want to point out. But another thing I want to say, now, right now it's still February, so it's still pretty early, but Siren Con is on May 31st, of course. Surprisingly, it's in May instead of June, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me. But for those of you, once again, yes, I am going to Siren Con again this year. I don't think Josh has yet released the 2025 Siren Con forms yet. excuse me, I don't think he's released the form yet, because I was just watching his Facebook video, I believe earlier today or last night, and he still has yet to post it, but he said he will when he gets a chance, and just gotta wait till he does. But it shouldn't be too much longer. But yeah, just to let you know, I am going back to Siren Con this year, and yes, of course, I'm bringing my Wheeling 3000 again, because many of you loved it, and for those of you that have not yet had a chance to hear it, I'll be bringing it again. And of course, some of you who have heard it, I'm sure you'll be pleased that I'll be bringing it again, and I hope everything goes smoother compared to last year. One thing I'll definitely make sure is obviously make sure my cameras are actually filming before I actually do it, so... But yeah, for ambiances though, I will not be doing any ambiances of Siren Con, especially from a distance, which may seem like a bit of a disappointment, but I want to be up close to the siren, so I'd rather not. I'm just going to leave the ambiances to somebody else, so as far as ambiances, you're on your own. But for Siren Con, I'll be, like I said, I'll be bringing my Wheeling 3000 again, and when it's my turn, I'll kind of do almost the same procedure like how I did last year, or maybe I'll try to switch it a little bit. Like, I still want to do single tone first, eventually followed by dual tone, but I'm trying to wonder if I should do let's say maybe whoop signal single tone first, and then once that's done, do dual tone whoop afterwards, and then change it back to single tone, and then just do the next signal on the list, and then just repeat that in dual tone, and then just keep alternating until you reach whale signal, which I like to leave last because that's my favorite signal, and that's probably the best sounding one, in my opinion. So, we'll see. It's up to me to decide, because it's my siren. So, yeah. But, here's another thing I also want to say. It's been official. I can't tell you what it is, at least yet, but for those of you... I've actually tried to tell you all that there's a special secret plan that I've been wanting to plan for quite a long time. I just haven't had the right time and, stuff like that. And because I can't really describe it because it's supposed to be a surprise, okay? I want to keep you guys surprised, and here's the thing. You're all going to love it, okay? Just correct me on it. But what I want to say is the secret plan it's going to be official. The secret plan is officially going to happen this year, okay? This year will happen for the secret plan. Now, I can't tell you when it is yet, but once it gets closer, I'll let you know when the date is, but I unfortunately still can't tell you what it's going to be. Many of you might guess, but even so, even if you were, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to tell you because I'm sorry to keep you out of the loop, but the point is it's supposed to be a surprise, and as a result of that, you're going to actually love it when it happens, because I don't want to spoil it. That's the point. But I promise you, once this comes, you are so going to love it. But like I said, I'll make sure you know when it's going to be, when the time comes, when it gets closer to it. I'll make sure I publicize saying it's going to happen this day, such like that. But what I cannot tell you is what it is until afterwards, okay? Once the secret plan is done and over with, I will do explanation describing about it and such like that. And I think you all are going to really love it. So, yeah, that's the only thing I can say. But let's see. In the meantime, there are still some pretty interesting sirens I'm probably going to film this year. One thing I'd like to say, sorry to be a little bit of a disappointment on this, but I decided to cancel my trip to Iowa. I'm aware that next month is the statewide tornado drill for several states, including Iowa, and it appears that the last Wednesday of March, if I'm not mistaken, is, I believe, the statewide tornado drill for Iowa. So, my plan would be to go to Cedar Falls to film a 1012 alerter, that 1012 that's there. Now, I am determined to hear that alerter, but I'm not going to do it this year because, well, I don't really feel like traveling that far. But another thing is that, I kind of, it's really my hours. Like, I kind of have to be careful with my time off, because the thing is, like, when I do my out-of-state Siren filmings, these all occur on scheduled work days for me, and because I work full-time, I actually have to request time off of work just to go out of state just to film a siren, and I'm only lucky enough if the siren activates, which sometimes has not happened, but luckily most of the time it has, and I got pretty much what I wanted, so that's the main thing. But as far as just for Iowa, I'm just not going to bother with it this year, so there's always another year, but even so, it's like I'm not really, Cedar Falls will just wait on that, at least for me, so I'm sorry to be a disappointment on that, because I've been encouraged, when I went to Emmitsburg last year, I've been encouraged to, I really got to check out Cedar Falls' 10-12 alerters, so I would like to. I'm sure I won't be disappointed by it, because I heard it's a specialty, and I heard it's perhaps maybe the world's oldest active alerter siren, which I believe is true. Yeah, it ain't going to happen this year. But what is going to happen, though, is I will be going to Ohio for the statewide tornado drill of Michigan. It'll be on the 19th. I'm going to be going to Ohio because I do have the day off of that day. I'm going to be going to Ohio to film some sirens there, or a siren. I mean, I'll have to decide if I want to film more than one siren or just one. I'd rather not say what it's going to be yet, because I kind of want that to be a surprise, but I've already figured out which one I want, and hopefully it goes well. And then for Michigan, I'll be going to another siren, which I'm also going to keep it a surprise as well. So, sorry to say that, but I promise you, I think you're all going to love it. Another thing I'd like to say, I have a siren enthusiast friend of mine who, his name is James. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, his YouTube user channel is East Detroit Sirens or Music or whatever. I'm bad at remembering names. But anyways, James, he is trying to film some of the sirens that I actually filmed back in 2008, although he's trying to follow it in the best order as he can as to how I did back in 2008, although it's not going to be perfect because things have changed since then. But the fact is, starting in March, all siren test days for Michigan are going to be repeated on the same days as they were in the year 2008. So as a result of that, as an anniversary, should I say, James is going to try to film whichever siren I filmed in the year 2008 by month. You know, what it is and stuff like that. Even though there's some sirens that I went to that have been replaced that unfortunately it's not going to be the same, but at least, you know, most of the time he should be able to, you know, get what he wants. So far, he's done good so far. You know, it's not going to be perfect, but here's the thing I wanted to say, though, about that. Some of those months that are coming up of this year that he's going to be at, I intend to be with him at some of those sirens. So, I'd rather not say which ones yet, but I do have some pretty special kind of plans for this year, as well as the secret plan, which will be, that's going to be something different, so... but anyways, what else do I want to say? But yeah, I just want to say that I'll be filming some of the sirens that he'll be filming, and then of course I'll be filming like maybe some others, like, or whatever. But what I could say for Halloween, though, what I could say for Halloween, my plan is that I'll be going to Delta Charter Township. For 6 p.m. in Delta Charter Township, I'll be present at an RSH-10, and I'll be filming a 2001, and I also would like to get one of my recorders to film an ambience. And for 8 p.m., I'm going to go back to Grand Ledge and film that fire department alerter again, even though I've already filmed it twice. But here's the thing, for 8 p.m., because it'll be nightfall by then, at least I'll be filming the alerter when it's nighttime with one of my bright lights shining on it, kind of like how I did with the RSH-10 in Delta Charter Township. Hopefully, I've actually kind of brought new lights that seem to have better battery capability, because the ones that I had, it seems like, even though I tried to fully charge the batteries, it seemed like it didn't necessarily hold. I mean, I'm not sure what the deal is. I must have been doing something wrong, but I brought additional spotlights just to be sure. It tries to stay steady as best as I can when I'm trying to aim at the siren to film. So for 8 p.m. of this year on Halloween, I'll be filming the alerter in Grand Ledge at the fire station with my bright lights shining on it so you can see it better. And also at the same time, during that time, I'll be filming an ambience with one of my recorders of the alerter and a nearby 2001 that I actually was not aware of, that's actually rather pretty close by. So as a result of that, that should be quite interesting. That should come out really, really well. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And one convenient thing about Halloween of this year is that because it happens to fall on a Friday, I won't have to worry about getting up to go to work the next day, because I won't be working November 1st. But on November 1st, that'll be a siren test day. So on that day, I might go to Battle Creek, but because I kind of like to do my Battle Creek trip during like the winter season months. I don't know why. I guess it's just I like it better. Although I'm kind of ran out of ideas of what I want to film in Battle Creek as far as up close. So I might just do ambiances, because I can never not get enough ambiances of Battle Creek, because due to their mixture of sirens, I love how their ambience turns out, as long as their sirens activate. But sometimes when they don't, and you hear others in the background that you may not hear very well, that's one thing. So either way, ambiances, I consider it a specialty. But, yeah, there's still some, I am determined to want to hear some more sirens, this year if I can. It probably won't be like how it was last year, or even the year before that, because I've, 2 years ago, I got to hear a 1012 alerter for the first time, and I got to hear a penetrator 50 horsepower for the first time. That was my primary siren. I had to hear a P50 because that was on my bucket list. And not only do I heard a P50, but I heard a P50 more than once. And of course, I got to hear the one at Siren Con and a Cyclone 2 years ago. Yeah, it's there's a lot of sirens that I filmed that I didn't think I was ever going to be able to film, and I like to say I'm a lucky kind of a guy. But yeah, just for this year, it's going to be a little bit different, but I truly believe it's still going to be just fine for you all, and I'm sure you're not going to be hopefully not too disappointed, because there's some couple of sirens I'm going to be, once again, I'm going to be going to this year along with James to try to go with how I filmed back in 2008 as best as he can. It's kind of a little tough because some of the sirens that I went to back in 2008 are no longer there, and it's just because they have different sirens now. It's going to be a little different, but when you see those videos, try to remember that, he's trying to do a kind of almost like an anniversary of kind of like how I did, sort of. So he's trying to repeat as to how I did as best as I can. So I encourage you to check those out when those times happen, because I think you're going to love those as well. So, and I'm looking forward to it as well. One of the siren tests I like to say that I'm going to go to with James, I think for the very first time, and I'm going to make it the last time too, but for the first time, I've never done this before, but I've never brought my dog Molly to a siren test before, okay? So, you know, I'm going to say I'm going to make this her last too, because I'm not sure how much longer she's going to be around, because right now Molly's, she's 15 years old and she'll be 16 in April, so she's definitely an old girl. And of all those times I've had her, and I've had her since 2009, of all the times I've had her, I've never taken her to a siren test before. So I'm going to do just this one time, but I'm going to leave her inside my truck so the sound doesn't bother her ears. So, you know, at least, you know, she won't be like tortured or anything. So I promise you, I'm not, you know, that kind of a person. So I'll make sure she's comfy, but also at the same time, you know, I'll give, you know, maybe James a chance to be able to see her in person. And, you know, if anybody happens to come along with us, you know, I don't know if that's possible. You could probably meet her too, but I don't know. But that's just a plan that I have for this year on one of these months. But aside from that, though, yeah, it's just, I got some special things that I'm going to be doing this year that's going to be kind of little different, but it's actually going to be really interesting, okay? And I really think you're going to love it, okay? And yeah, it's I think that's all I can really say for what my plans are for this year. So I'm hoping you all will be looking forward to it, and catch you all later.